We are travel vloggers David and Claire, and this is us heading down to Southampton to get on the Sky Princess cruise ship for a Scandinavian cruise. Previously, we'd spend £135 on a taxi to Gatwick Airport, spend 3 hours inside Gatwick Airport, take a flight of anywhere up to 8.5 hours, spend time chasing luggage around the conveyor belt and waiting for ours to arrive, and then join a coach for about an hour and a half before checking in to finally board a ship. And that got us thinking, would a Southampton cruise be easier? The first main difference is the amount of luggage you can take. With a fly cruise, you're bound by the rules of the airline. Usually what it means is you can take one case of 20 kilos and one piece of hand luggage, and that's it. Whereas when you do a Southampton cruise, your only limit is what you can fit on your car on the way down to Southampton. Getting down to Southampton seemed to be the easy bit, as we approached the port and we discovered that finding our ship and getting to it without having a car crash would be a bit challenging. The high-vis police were out in full force, letting traffic out before they'd stopped the traffic on the main road and causing carnage everywhere. They were standing on roundabouts and at junctions. The gestures they were giving were very random and not like any I've seen in the highway code before.
He's not got a clue. You can't just say, right, you go, and then not stop the other traffic. Because if two cars then go into each other, is it my fault, is it her fault? It's technically my fault. You just called it my rant.
Yep. Once we were outside the ship, we pulled into the waiting area where there were people waiting from the CPS, which stands for Cruise Parking Service. Now, we had pre-booked with them, and what they do is they check your car over, they let you unload right outside the ship, and they take it away to park it for the week for you. Once my keys were taken off of me, it was time to unload the car and head over to the terminal. When you get to the terminal, you will have been allocated a specific baggage drop. Any bags that you drop off will then meet you in your room on the ship. It's advisable to take a carry-on with you so that you can keep any medication, change of clothes or swimwear that you might want before your cases arrive at the cabin. Once inside the terminal building, it was a short queue before check-in. A quick and painless trip through security, and then we were on board. And ready to check out our cabin. You can check it out with us on our room tour on our channel. But for now, sadly, it's back to the present.
Hello, so you join us at that sad moment of our holiday. We're coming home.
Yeah, we're off the ship. We're back in the car and we're travelling home. Bit of traffic at the moment.
That actually brings us to a summary that we want to go through, and it gives us an opportunity to talk to you about it. Claire, how have you found your first Southampton cruise, and what do you think in terms of the differences?
Well, so we literally just had to travel to the port, park up the car and get on the ship. So there's less stress involved, and obviously you're starting your holiday a lot quicker than if you was on a fly cruise, because you'd have to go through all the security, the flight, and then security the other side, and there's a lot of stress when you fly. But obviously we've started straight away as soon as we've got down there.
And just on that security front, so there's a lot less worry about the items that you take on board. Because, for example, obviously when you fly, you've got to worry about your liquid situation. You've also got to worry about what could be an offensive weapon that's not really an offensive weapon, such as nail scissors and things like that.
Yeah.
Again, you've not really got to worry about
the whole water thing. You can take water on. You ain't got to put everything in little tiny bottles. It's just, there's less restrictions. You can take more luggage and you haven't got to worry about all that side of things for a Southampton cruise.
So a huge plus. Other thing I take you back to, you said about parking up. So we use CPS, which is parking services for the port. Now, it was fairly expensive. I think it cost us 150 quid. But you drop the car off right outside the terminal. And then when you come back, they put it in the short stay car park
so
right
you've
outside
literally
the
just got to
terminal.
pick up your key and walk to your car, and that's it. And it was really quite simple, weren't it?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm always a bit sceptical about someone else driving my car and leaving them with the keys. Will it be used to pop to McDonald's or something like that? Well, I've got a tracker on the car, and the car was only moved twice. It was moved to the initial car park, and then because we came back to a different cruise terminal,
they move it closer.
It was moved to that cruise terminal. And it also tells me how the car's been driven, and the car wasn't ragged. The car was driven really well and respectfully.
Yeah, so I think you've got peace of mind that your car is close, and it's just going to be easy to get off the ship and get into your car.
So that was good. I mean, there are some downsides of doing the fly cruise. So, for example, now we're sitting in traffic. I call this a massive downside because I've now got to drive 2.5, 3 hours home. Whereas if we did a fly cruise, we'd probably get the train to Luton Airport or Gatwick. Other things you've got to bear in mind is with a fly cruise, if you do a fly cruise and the flight is delayed, if it's with a package, so like with Morello, with TUI, they will hold the ship because there'll be other people on that flight.
Yeah.
They'll be part of your package. Other thing I guess to bear in mind as well is the agile itineraries. So we were talking to a few people on board about the Southampton itineraries. There aren't as many. So you get to a point where you have to do a fly cruise.
To do more.
Because you've done all of the itineraries going.
But also people getting on and off, so the time frames are different, isn't it? So if you're waiting to get off ship for the Southampton, obviously everyone is getting on and off at the same time, and it was a little bit chaotic. Whereas with the fly cruise,
staggered,
because your flight might not be to the afternoon, so you can stay on the ship to the afternoon. So everyone, it's a bit more staggered, and it's not as busy. Or we had to queue for a long time, didn't we, to get off of the ship?
Yeah. I forgot about that one. So staggered exit on a fly cruise.
But there's going to be good and bad for both. But you've got to do what cruise is right for you.
So I guess to summarise or to finish up, I'm going to ask you the question, Claire. What would you prefer, or what would you do next time? Never mind the itinerary, never mind the ship. If you could do a fly cruise versus a Southampton cruise.
You can go wherever.
Yeah, go wherever. So that's irrelevant. Yeah.
I think I'd go to Southampton cruise. It's nice to just drive down and get straight on the ship without the whole flight. So if you feel like that's eating into your holiday, because you've booked the time off work, and if you've got a long flight, like we did last year, we went to New York, went to American, so we had to fly to America first, which is a long old flight, and then by the time we get on the ship, you're exhausted. So I think if I could go anywhere and it wasn't an issue, I would just want to do the sail cruise. Just go to the port, get on the ship, done, and I can take as much luggage as I want. I ain't got to worry about all the faff of the restrictions. Yeah, so 100% I'd like to do a sail cruise again.
So on that bombshell, Southampton cruise, we can thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
To see how we got on this cruise, why not check out our video here? Also, don't forget to subscribe for future content.